I've been looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077 for a long time, just like a lot of other people. And at E3 2018, we finally got a look at it, and it looks really good.
In 2077, they voted my city the worst place to live in America.
It's cyberpunk, right? And so it's got that attitude, but at the same time, this is a world where the worst crimes happen in broad daylight and everybody knows that they happen and everybody just kind of goes along with it. Everybody just lives their lives. But it also lets us have this vibrancy and this living quality to the streets. It's not a dead world. It's a very living place. And that really comes from Cyberpunk 2020. And Night City and Cyberpunk 2020, our source material, is a living, vibrant place. And so we really wanted to communicate that.
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person RPG, so not a first-person shooter. RPGs are the bread and butter of CD Projekt Red, the studio making this game. They do the Witcher series, so this is what they know how to do. But now it's in first person, and it stars this badass chick who is running around Night City just taking care of business, wandering around with the underground and really holding her own. There are implants and necks and robots, and you get a little spider buddy that follows you around. It's a really cool game.
We've spent a lot of time trying to make sure that this feels like California, and that it has the ethos of California, and it has the diversity of California, and even sort of internally in the way that we work, just to make sure that we're writing a story that works with a male and a female character. Some teams write, and they write he, and they use the he pronoun, and some other teams use the feminine pronoun, just to make sure that, you know, we're not screwing anything up and we're not writing, oh, this only works for a man, this only works for a woman. The thing about the first-person perspective that we were really excited about is, well, if you go back and you look at Witcher 3, right? You've got Geralt, and Geralt's this character with decades of history, previous games, short stories, novels, and it's his story, and you're watching his story, and you're controlling him through the story, but it's his story. With this one, we want it to be your story, and the first person's perspective also gives us a lot of extra things. If you go and you play a third-person game, and you try to look up, it never really works, and it never really gives you that feel, and to us, like, if you've got that first-person perspective and you can look up and you can see those skyscrapers, you know, dwarfing you, and you're in this canyon of glass and steel and concrete, it feels really cool. It feels really cool, and you can't get that from a third-person perspective. So we have a rule where if it's logical that you should be able to do something in a different order or have a different path, then you should be able to do that, and the game should respond to those things, which means that our quests can get really, really big and really, really complicated, and it is a ton of work. But it's worth it. Like in the demo, you saw that you can actually go to the Ripper Dock or you can go to Dex first. And something just as simple as that, like you could go here and you could go there. There's reactivity. There's just little bits of dialogue, little changes, and it's extremely complicated, but it's totally worth it.
There's no release date for Cyberpunk 2077, but with a world this big and complex, with all the choices you can make, I expect this to take a few more years in development, maybe even for next gen. That's kind of where I'm looking right now. But whenever it comes out, it definitely looks like it'll be worth the wait.